Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in, man. I'm doing one of them late night lives. Again, I got to get it how I live, man. Just get in my streams when I had the time to, man. So I got a little time tonight, so I just want to tap in with y'all, man. Discuss some important issues, man. Current events. Things that's going on right now that got the world going crazy. But we already know the science behind most of what's going on, man. So again, nothing is new under the sun. We're not surprised by what's going on. We just gonna build on it though. We're gonna bring the truth out here. We know the science behind the conditions of the world today, man. We know the science behind everything that's going on. We're not shocked by what's going on. We're not shocked at all. How y'all living though, man? How y'all doing on this Friday night? Hopefully y'all had a peaceful day, peaceful week, powerful day, powerful week. All that good stuff, man. Might ruffle some feathers with what I got to say, man. Y'all know my opinion on the matter. Thunder Scorpion, what's going on, man? Yeah, Indy, that's right around the corner from me. It's not too far from where I'm at. Crazy, man. Dude look like he just... You look like he part of like a Nazi group or something, man. Little dude that did that, man. He just looked like he a part of that. Look like he in that mix, man. Dude just looked like he hate anybody that ain't white, man. That's what he looked like. The mix, man. Dude just looked like he hate anybody that ain't white, man. That's what he looked like. But that Indianapolis situation, that's crazy. Then I seen where he took out a few members of the Sikh community. You know, so I wonder, are they gonna really call that what it really is? You know, they don't like to call it an act of terrorism when they are the ones committing the act. So, you know, they like to label it other things. They don't want to call it terrorism, and they don't want to call the stuff hate crimes, things of that nature. You may get a hate crime a time or two, but they don't like to label the things correctly when they are the ones committing the acts. Now, if we was the ones committing the act, then they're going to bring up hate crimes. They're going to bring up terrorism. They're going to bring up thuggery. They're going to bring up all type of situations. Here, they may just bring up mental illness and all that type of stuff, man. Mental health may become the topic of discussion once again. But that's an act of terrorism. I mean, what's the difference between, like, when you break down the word terrorism, he fits that description in regards to what he did. But they're not going to call it an act of terrorism, though. They're not going to call him a terrorist. They're not going to do that. Now, let's flip the script, though, you know. So he went out and did what he did, the FedEx shooter and whatnot. He went out and did what he did. So let's just say the roles were turned, man, tables were turned. And the Sikh community, they did the same thing he did. Let's say somebody from the Sikh community went out and did the same thing that this white dude did, this little white boy did. What would they be calling them? Magic Rims, peace, what's going on? Let's just say somebody from the Sikh community. This cat shot a few members of the Sikh community. Let's say one of the members of the Sikh community committed the same act. They would be calling it terrorism. They would be calling it a terrorist act. That is literally what they would be calling it. That's literally what this would be labeled. If somebody from the Sikh community did the same thing this little white boy did, it would be an act of terrorism, and that's an actual fact. But then this white boy shoots up a few members of their community plus others. It's not called terrorism. It's not an act of terrorism. But if it would have been anybody else from any other community, they would have called it a terrorist act. The word terrorism would have been used. The word terrorist would have been used. But since it's a white boy, we're not going to throw the word terrorist in there. We're not going to say it was an act of terrorism. We're not going to say he was a terrorist. Not going to do that. Andronicus, peace, what's going on? Daunte Scorpion, most definitely. Just having a bad day. I could never envision him doing such a thing. Like, that's the type of stuff they start talking about when these white people commit these mass shootings and things of that nature. Mass shooting, that's what they call it. And everybody get on camera and say, oh, such and such was never that type of person. I could never see them doing that. Mental health issues, PTSD, all type of excuses, man. All type of deflections instead of calling it what it really is. Instead of calling it what it really is, man. They do not like to call these things what they really are. Y'all know how I go. Ms. Daunte, Peace Queen, what's going on? And then don't even get me started on the Daunte Wright situation. Please don't even get me started on that situation, man. Once again, man, we continue to act surprised by the way the police, men and women, handle us, man. It is nothing new under the sun. She couldn't tell the difference between a taser and a gun. Come on now. Do it look like we was born yesterday? It was like we was born yesterday. Like, she might as well just have kept that to herself. She might as well just admitted to just like, she just shouldn't even have said that. That sounds stupid. She sounds so dumb. But we know how I go though. We know how it go. More than likely, she may be liable to walk away from this situation. What, she get charged with like second-degree murder or something? But she out here not able. So y'all out here hiring people to work for the police department that's supposed to protect and serve, and they can't tell the difference between a taser and a gun. But y'all hiring these people though. These are the type of people y'all hiring to protect and serve these communities out here. They ain't protecting and serving our community. They killing us in our communities. That's what they doing. But y'all hiring people with the sole duty, obligation to protect and serve, and they can't distinguish a taser from a handgun, like from an actual gun. These are the people that y'all are hiring. Y'all are comfortable hiring somebody that said, oh, I thought it was a taser. It was a whole gun. Y'all comfortable hiring that type of person? Come on now. Dominique, what's going on with you, my brother? MCJ Rocker, man, listen, that situation in South Carolina, not even interesting. It really doesn't surprise me, man. Little homie really minding his business. But I had a situation like that. But the situation I had it didn't deal with an actual white person. It actually dealt with some black people, man. Like I said, my people's moved on the better side of town, you know, where the bougie black people be at. And I think it was like maybe my first weeks there or whatever, man. You know, I used to have a lot of beats in my car, man. I had some subs. I had 212s, man. So I'm coming around beating late at night, man. I made a little run to the gas station, give me some snacks. And as soon as I parked my car, I was just sitting there for like a minute, you know, with little snacks in the car and whatnot, man. I'm fresh out of high school, and a cop had pulled up on me, man. That could have ended terribly. Dude was asking me my address and everything, man, interrogate me. And what had happened was one of the neighbors had called the cops on me. And all I was doing was going to the gas station, man, getting some snacks. Called the cops on me, man. That could have ended fatally for your boy. But that situation in South Carolina, man, dude need to mind. Woo. Little homie was better than me. I'd probably been ready to fight. I'm not even gonna lie. My temper would have got the best of me, man. I wouldn't have dealt too well with this white dude coming at me like that, especially if I lived there. But I'm glad little homie kind of kept his composure, man, and didn't do anything crazy. Just kept his composure. So that's like, shout out to the little homie for that. And I like how the black community was riding for him, showing up to the crib, man. So like I like that solidarity, that unity, man. So I definitely fool with that. Man. But I don't too much care for these white folks, man, coming all up in my face like that. So I don't know. I probably would have handled that situation a little bit differently, man, especially knowing that I lived there, man. So my temper might have got the best of me at that particular moment. Because dude ain't about to step to me like that. That's one thing I don't play. When it comes to white people, man. One thing a white person is not going to do is talk to me crazy and I sit there and eat it. No, that's never happening. Whether it's corporate America, whether it's in real life. One thing a white person is never going to do is talk to me crazy. That's just not happening. It's not happening at all. Like, you about to get corrected. You about to know and understand that I have no fear whatsoever in regards to dealing with you and handling this situation how it needs to be handled. So ain't no white person talking to me crazy. So I like how little homie kind of stood his ground and didn't let dude intimidate him. You know what I'm saying? Like, little homie stood his ground. And I kind of rock with that. Because old white dude was trying to intimidate him, obviously. But little homie stood his ground, man. That's much respect. And black community, we got your back. We got your back, buddy. We got your back, man. We ain't about to let them walk over us, man. This ain't happening. Supreme Allah, peace, God. What's going on? Freezing the game, no doubt. No doubt, man. They better quit playing with us, man. Listen, listen. White folks, white people, any white person that's watching, listening, whatever the case may be. Y'all better quit playing with us, man. Y'all really better quit playing with black people, man, because what's going to happen is y'all going to keep playing with us and we going to mess around and unify, and it's going to stick. And when y'all keep messing with us and we unify and it actually sticks, y'all going to have a bigger problem on y'all hands, man. Y'all don't want that, so y'all better just leave us alone. Y'all really just better leave us alone. Y'all better really stop messing with us, man. Because that one time y'all going to mess with us, man, and we going to come together, we going to unify, and that solidarity is going to be real. It's going to be real this time. It's not going to be temporary. It's going to be permanent. And when it becomes permanent, y'all done. Y'all done. I don't care how many guns y'all think y'all got, man. I don't care what type of military y'all think y'all got. Y'all been trying to wipe us out for how long, and y'all cannot succeed. Y'all can't succeed. Y'all been trying to succeed at wiping us out for the longest. Mission failed every time. So y'all need to really just leave us alone. Y'all really need to leave us alone. That's all I want to, like, please, white people, leave us alone. We don't, for the most part, we not trying to go out of our way to bother y'all. So why are y'all striving to go out of y'all way to bother us? Now, we know the answer to that question. But, man, y'all really need to just leave us alone, man, because, again, y'all keep doing these type of things, man, and that they keep happening one after the other, then that unification is going to stick. Y'all ain't even spacing the stuff out no more. It's happening one after another, one after the other, one after the other. Like, y'all, listen, y'all gonna force the unification to stick. Y'all gonna force that unification to stick. Then y'all gonna have bigger problems on y'all hands, man. Magic Rims, you already know, man, they always coming up with excuses, man, always. Antoinette, Peace Queen, what's going on? Most definitely, man, I got some time tonight, so I'm building. Dominique, no doubt, man. Like I said, man, I was on a decent side of town, but it really wasn't the white side of town. It was more so like the bougie black side of town, man. Dudes calling cops on me, man, because I'm walking around with my beats. Stuff wasn't at ignorant levels, but it's like, dude, come on. Like, you calling the cops on a young black bull, man. You calling the cops on me, man. That could have turned out, that could have been tragic. That could have been fatal. You know, I don't think whoever it was that called the cops on me, man, I don't really think that they really understood the magnitude of that situation and how left field things could have like went and turned. So I'm kind of glad that situation didn't escalate, man, because it was night, man. It's like around this time, man, and I'm just pulling up in the driveway. I'm looking at the dude like, man, I live here. And the messed up part about my situation was we had just moved. So the address on my ID, like the address on my driver's license didn't match up with the current address, man, because I hadn't got it changed. I hadn't gotten it changed yet. So it was semi looking bad. So I'm like, man, dude, you could have got me killed, man. Like, we gotta stop being so quick to call the cops on one another, man, when it comes to situations like that, man. The dude could have got me killed, literally. You know what I'm saying? Just by me playing my music, man. And it was just obvious. It was obvious that I lived there, man. I know whoever it was had seen me before at that house, man. Thunder Scorpion, man. That's crazy. Like, luckily they didn't plant anything on, you know, when they can't find stuff on us, when they pull us over, they like to try to plant stuff on us. You know? Too good to be true type deal. I remember one time, this is another thing too. I remember one time, I forgot how the conversation went verbatim, but I was on my way to work, man. I was working some weird hours. I was working at Target, man. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, man, unloading trucks and things like that, man. I remember one time I got pulled over because my headlight was out. And dude had to, like, they pull you over, they run your information and things like that, man. So my record is clean. So bro, ain't nothing come up. So it was like the dude had to double check to make sure I was really who I said I was, man, because he couldn't believe that he ran my name and nothing came up. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. Like, that's crazy, man. Dude couldn't believe that I had a clean record out here, man. They ain't have nothing to my name. Like, that actually shocked dude. That's the type of stuff we was on, man. That's the type of stuff we be on out here. He couldn't believe it. Supreme law, everything, man. Magic rims, man. You already know, man. Hey, that's fortunate for you. I know I've seen my fair share of it, man. Like y'all know, I dealt with it in high school and all type of stuff, man. So I done dealt with the racism, man. I done dealt with the white supremacist system, man, in a multitude of different ways, man. And it's just, it's real out here, man. People don't understand. We say it all the time, but we are literally at war. Like, at some point, we're going to realize it. That's why I say white people need to quit messing with us. Because at some point, we're going to really realize collectively that we are at war. And we're going to realize who we are at war against. And when we realize that, man, it's over. It's over. Yeah, freezing the game. And it's crazy. But what's crazy is, I say Trump should have been selected again because we would have got it together. But it's like, you would have thought we would have got it together while dude was there, but we didn't. But if they keep on, these situations keep happening, like, time after time, like, right after each other, back to back to back to back, like, man, you really forcing us to unify, man. You forcing us to walk up to your crib and stand outside your door because you out there harassing a young brother. Like, you forcing us to do that. You forcing us to do that, man. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you messing with the little homie for? Now, if I would have did the same thing to a white person, they would have reacted the same type of way. The white community would have reacted or responded the same type of way. So I like the fact that we unified, man, and we pulled up on you. Nick, peace, what's going on? Yeah, hey, MC, you already know, man. When they real quiet on the situation, you already know that the shooter was white. You already know it. So be ready to have some mental health conversations, some mental health dialogues. Y'all about to see a lot of talk about mental health, because I guarantee you they're gonna talk about it. I guarantee you they're gonna attribute it to mental health. Man, he had some mental conditions. He had mental illness. Like, that's what they're gonna attribute it to. It's crazy. Like, he's just gonna go out as a mass shooter. They're not gonna assign terrorism or associate terrorism with his name. But like, me just simply getting on YouTube or getting on any other platform speaking out against the system will get me labeled as a terrorist. But this dude can go up and just shoot some innocent people and he don't go down as a terrorist. But if I get on this platform and I start talking about the system, then they will label me a terrorist. That's crazy. That is crazy. Man, that's crazy, man. Thunder Scorpion, man. Listen, I'm on high alert. I'm on high alert. I remember I was in the gym a while back, man, and there's a white dude, strange white dude that was in there, had on that coat. Man, it wasn't, and it was hot outside. There was no reason for this dude to have on this coat, man. He looked suspect. Kept my eyes on him the whole time I was in the gym. Every time I'm lifting, man, I'm looking at him through the mirror. When I'm facing him, I'm looking right in his direction. I'm like, man, homie he ain't about to get anything off on me because I'm watching him. I'm eyeing him. Just like they eye me, just like they clutch the purse when I come by and they lock the doors when I walk past the car, I'm looking at him. I was looking at him the whole time. I say, this dude ain't doing it. We ain't going out like that because I'm watching him. So he was definitely suspect, man. What you got that long coat on in the gym for? Like, that dude was totally suspect. So he deserved that. I watched him the whole time. And I'll do it again. If I see a white dude that fit that description, I'm going to watch him again. I ain't letting my guards down. Freezing the game. What you say? I'm at war with myself every day. I'm searching for true knowledge of self so I can be true God body. Hey, you ain't even gotta search for that knowledge of self, my brother. You ain't even gotta search for it. You ain't gotta search for what's already within you. You ain't gotta search for what's already within you. It's already there, man. That knowledge of self is already within you because it's self, it's you. So it's already there. You ain't even gotta search for it. It's more so an activation. Yeah, man. Yeah, Magic. He probably schizophrenic and all that type of stuff, man. It's probably what they gonna call him. Schizophrenic, bipolar, something. It's gonna be something crazy. It's gonna be a mental condition. Guarantee that. Hey, Kurt, what you say? What are we waiting on to come together and stand for one another? I feel like I feel like the religious folk, I feel like they waiting on the second coming of Christ or something like that. I feel like that's what people waiting on. Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's so I mean, they got us, man. They got us with all these like, listen, divide and conquer is real out here, man. So that's really one of the reasons, one of the main reasons why we haven't really came together and just unified. That divide and conquer, man. They just got us divided out here, man. They got us divided in a lot of different ways, and that creates a lot of different conflicts. So they pretty much got us under their control for the most part. For the most part, we program. So that's why we don't really come together like that on a permanent basis. It's always kind of temporary, man. We more reactionary. Instead of being proactive, we like to react. Like when the unification comes out of us reacting to something, it doesn't stick. The only way the unification is going to stick is when we unify when nothing actually happened that we had to react to. When nothing happened that we had to react to, yet we came together and we started fighting the system. That's when it sticks. But most of the times we unify in response to something that happened to one of our own. We really got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that, man. We got to come together just off the strength of we need to come together and unify. That's when it's going to stick. That's when it's going to become permanent. But like I said, most of the time we come together and we unify in response to the mistreatment of one of our own via this system or via somebody that's white. That's when we come together. That's when we unify. That's temporary, man. That's not permanent. We got to start coming together just because that's what we need to do. Man, Thunder Scorpion, I definitely feel you on that. Freezing the game, you say, yeah. Man, I'm telling you, I don't listen. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If you black, man, you fully trusting these white folks out here, man. That's just anything that happens to you after that, man. That's on you. That's on you. I saw, man, again, rest in power to DMX, man. But I was watching that DMX interview where he was pretty much saying how we need to trust people to be themselves. So he was like, man, even when it comes to a snake, you trust a snake to do what's in the nature of the snake to do. So you trust in the snake to be a snake. So that's how you got to look at the white folks, man. You got to trust that white person to be that white person, man. So when they do you dirty, when they deceive you, when they manipulate you, strive to control you, man, that's it. That's what they are programmed to do, think, believe, etc., etc. So you got to start looking at things from that angle, man. That's why I'm never really surprised when certain things happen, because again, they are acting in according to their nature. Doesn't surprise me. I know their true nature. So when they do some of these wicked things that they do, it's just a reflection of that true nature. It just validates and confirms their true nature. That's it. That's all it does for me. I'm not about to walk around with my jaw dropped like I cannot believe that they are doing us like this. Wow, that's crazy. No, I can believe it because they've been doing us like this, and it's in their nature to do that. Jay, peace, what's going on? So like DMX was spot on when he said you need to trust people to be themselves. See, we Black people, we like to always see the good in other people. We like to think everybody got that good in them and nobody is just purely evil. See, we like to just see the good in folks. We like to accept people. We too accepting. Like that's part of our problem, man. We can't just look at a white person to say, man, it's in the nature of that white person to mistreat us. We can't look at them like that. We can't do that. We too accepting. We think everybody got the ability to be nice. We think everybody got the ability to to accept us and do this, that, and the third. So when they do us dirty, we like, wow, I cannot believe another human would do that to another human. Like, yes, you can, and you should, just based off of studying history. But a lot of times, man, us as Black people, man, we too naive, we too gullible, man, when it comes to just trusting other people. We too quick to let our guards down when dealing with other people, and we got to stop doing that. As harsh as it may sound, man, we got to stop being so quick to let our guards down. We'll trust another ethnic group real quick, man. We'll let our guard down real quick. Oh, you want to come into this church? Come right on in. And we'll let them right on in, man. We got to start being like the Nation of Islam out here, man. We can't let them in. Can't let them in this mosque real quick. It's just for Black folks. But we willing to let any and everybody in. Whatever we doing, we willing to let all of them in. Then we wonder why things get infiltrated. Freezing the game, man. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And Dominique, anybody that honestly has studied any form of history, whether you a white person, whether you are a Black person, listen, when you start studying the history of white folks, what we call the colored man or colored people. See, they call us that, but that's not an actual fact. They are the colored folks. But when you study their history, that's all you're going to come across: war, death, aggression, devilishment, deception, manipulation. That's all you're going to come across. That's all you're going to come across, man. You're going to come across all type of savagery, wickedness. But then they tried to tag that on us, though. Like that was our history. Like that's our story. When really it's not. They want you to think, oh, in Africa, y'all was all savages. Y'all was all living a primitive way of life. Then we came and civilized y'all. Well, we already know that that's not the actual facts. We already know that that's not the actual truth of what happened. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, man, way too forgiving, man. We just too nice, man. Too nice. Too nice, man. I ain't got no problem rejecting a white person, man. I ain't got no problem with it. When it comes to certain things, but I'm not saying like don't do business with them and things of that nature, man. But when it comes to just letting them in on certain things, man, that we like working on or conjuring up, like, man, they don't need to be in on it, man. Like, I don't like why do I need the white people on my side when we fighting for the Black struggle? Like, man, you can't relate to this. If you want to listen, if you want to do me a favor, if you white and you want to get in on this Black struggle, man, correct your people, deal with your people. I don't need you standing by me talking about Black Lives Matter. Like, nah, for one, that movement is that organization, all that is trash. But I don't need you beside me chanting. I don't need you to do that. Go back to your community and deal with your people, chop it up with your people, try to teach your people what's right and exact. I don't need you hooping and hollering next to me. I don't need you marching next to me. No, I need for you to go do the work in your community. Oh, Dominique, you already know that'd be a whole other topic right there. That'd be a whole other topic. Whole other topic right there. If I start bringing in, you know what I'm saying, like the Bible and religion and all that type of stuff into it, it'd be a whole other topic. Whole other topic. They ain't really ready for that conversation though. Yeah, freezing the game. Like, yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. We need to take. That's why I say, man, we need to study all of the organizations, man, and we need to take the best parts from all of the organizations that came before us and still exist, and we just need to implement the best parts from all of these organizations. Man, Marlon, I can imagine, man. I can imagine. Like I'm in St. Louis, man, but when you start going like north and you can go down south, man, you're gonna come across some of these little hick towns, man. So I already know. I already know how I go, man. But I ain't even afraid to walk in some of them hick towns, man. Like they got me messed up, man. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Listen, I don't fear these white folks. I don't fear these white folks, man. That's why I ain't at old buddy in South Carolina. Like, man, you need to sit down, man. Like you really need to sit down, man, for somebody deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to sit down for somebody deal with you. We not playing, man. We not playing. Like black people ain't playing with y'all, man. We getting a little too fed up with all that's going on. So you can't be getting in people's faces like that, man. You just can't be doing that, man. You gonna do that to the wrong brother, man. You gonna get dealt with. Dominique, no doubt, 100%, 100%. But y'all know we know how they didn't use that book as a tool to try to strive to keep us oppressed. You know, left things out intentionally, things of that nature. Yeah, MC, and that's what would have got me. That's what would have got me because I'm already the fact that dude would have thought he was gonna talk to me crazy because he would have been bigger than me. That would have already had me ready to go. That's why I say little homie, because I would have been ready to rock because I'm like, dude, think he finna talk to me crazy because bigger than me. No, sir. So I would have been ready to rock just off of the strength of that. Cause nah, man, you think you finna talk to me because you bigger than me, you finna have to drop. Like, man, I'm not playing. I ain't playing with the white folks, man. Can't be playing with them like that, man. Can't be playing with him like that, man. He was trying to step to little homie, man, like knowing he could have had the upper hand on him. I don't know what little homie knows. Little homie might know some jujitsu or something. I don't know. I don't know. But he stepped into little homie, man. Obviously had the size advantage over him. So it's like, okay, you think you tough now? Okay. Hey, Marlon, I'm gonna say one of the reasons why I'm not gonna say we fully ready for it, but one thing I would say is because when you even just study history, you go back to the Maroons. And when they was out here going to war with the white folks, they clearly was outnumbered when it came to even like the men in the army. And then when it came to the firepower, they were outmatched. But that guerrilla warfare, man, that gave them the upper hand. So I just feel like mentally we are always on another level than them. Like they cannot reach the levels that we can reach mentally. So when we come together collectively, I think we ready for any war because again, our mind is powerful. Our mind is powerful. Our mind is powerful, man. So when we come together collectively, we'll figure it out. Just like the Maroons figured it out. They was like, man, they got us outmatched when it comes to the firepower and the soldiers. So we got to use something to our advantage. And that's when they started mastering the environment. So just because they may have the weapons on us, don't necessarily mean that we ain't ready for it. If we came together collectively and we utilize that mental power that we have, ain't no telling what we could do. Ain't no telling what we can do. No matter how many weapons they got, no matter how many soldiers they think they got, we come together collectively on that mental level, man. It ain't no stopping. It ain't no stopping the black mind. It's no stopping it. No stopping it. There is no stopping it. Because nature won't even let you wipe. Listen, nature will not even allow them to wipe us out. So we got nature on our side. Like, you just cannot wipe us out. You cannot wipe us out, man. We got nature riding for us, man. So it ain't nothing you can really do to wipe us out. It's just if we come together, man, and that collective power, that collective mental power, man, that's gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be dangerous. Yeah, Dominique, I'm 100% sure he wouldn't pull up. He wouldn't do none of that. He wouldn't do any of that to them. Yeah, Magic Realms, man. Learning the martial art, man, is definitely crucial, man. Just getting you, hey, mastering the gun, mastering the martial arts, man. Just self-defense, all of that good stuff, man. Get into all of it. Get your endurance up. People don't understand that, man. Endurance is important. Get your heart rate up, man. Exercise that heart. That's a muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. You got to get your heart in shape. Because if you go into war, you got to have endurance. You got to have stamina. So if you know how to fight but have no stamina, then you really no good. Like, you a great boxer, but you can only last one round. So, like, a mediocre boxer can get the best of you because he can last longer. So now you got to get that endurance up. Get that stamina up. Freezing the game. So I'm telling you, be all in the bushes, man. Be in the trees and everything, man. You master that terrain. You master that environment, man. It's hard to get. It's hard to win. It's hard to conquer that person. It's hard to conquer that group of people, man, when they master the environment. When they using the environment as the weapon. When they using the environment as defense. That's what the Maroons was on. Oh no, Marlon, nah, I ain't even disagreeing. I agree with that. Nah, no, Marlon, I agree with that. Like, we got a lot of work to do as far as like getting to that level. But I said if we ever get to that level, it's unstoppable. But we definitely got work to do to get to that level. So yeah, right now, no sir, we not ready. Just because we not there mentally. We not there mentally for a lot of different reasons, man. Yeah, Kurt. See, I listen. Hey, that's why I say it's a time for peace. It's a time for war. I wouldn't have been mad at little homie if he just knocked dude out or something. Like, I just wouldn't even been mad. Like, I just would not have been. Dude just straight knocked old white boy out. I wouldn't have been mad. Wouldn't have cared. Probably would have applauded it, man. Because, like, man, don't stop bothering me, man. I'm not doing anything to you. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, man. Yeah, Zimmerman was getting it, getting it handed to him, man. And then there he go. Now somebody ends up dead. Dominique, I definitely heard about him. Magic Realm, I'll tell you, man, that guerrilla war. I feel like guerrilla warfare, man, is important, man. That's why we got to start relying on these phones sometimes, man, and learn how to read maps and things like that, man. We got to get back to nature. We master, listen, again, you master yourself and then you master nature, man. When you master nature, it's going to be hard to conquer you. You master nature, it's going to be hard to conquer you, man. When you just know how to survive in the wild out here. Like, when you could just survive in the wild, man, again, it's going to be hard to conquer you. It's going to be hard to conquer that group of people, man, that can survive in the wild, that can just survive in nature. And they know that though. They know that though. We just don't know that, man. We just don't think it's possible. We think we just got to deal with these white folks and we got to deal with their shenanigans and their nonsense, man. We think we just got to deal with it. It ain't nothing we can do about it. Like, that's, for the most part, that's the mentality that most of us pretend possess most of the time. That is nothing that can be done, man. We just got to deal with the white folks. Sorry that y'all feel that way, but there's plenty that can be done. There's plenty that can be done, and we don't necessarily have to deal with it. Definitely don't have to deal with it. Yeah, magic rims, anything. Everything is possible. Any and everything is possible, man. Any and everything. Any and everything, man. It's just funny how all of this stuff. It's just funny how all of this stuff is happening. All these things are happening. Like I said, man, they're not gonna connect white folks to terrorism and none of that, man. But all the things that I mentioned in this video, who are the ones committing the acts? The Indianapolis shooting. Who committed that act? Daunte Wright situation. Who committed that act? South Carolina situation. Who committed that act? Airview Peace, what's going on? Lindell Peace, what's going on? Man, Marlon, I'm gonna go a step further on that, because in the same breath that we say that we talk about the overall condition of black men, but then in the same breath we're gonna say we need to network with other black men. I feel like for the most part, we pretty much all are scarred in some way, shape, or form just because of what we had to go through. I honestly feel like the first thing that must be done, it always goes to self, and it never goes outside of self. So I don't feel like, listen, I don't feel like you need to join anything first. The first thing you need to do is look within yourself. That's the first thing you need to do. Just look within yourself. As a black man, man, just look within yourself, man. That's the first thing that needs to be done, man, because again, all of us need to do some form of healing. All of us, man. It ain't a black person on this planet, especially in this particular country, in the wilderness of North America, that don't need to undergo some form of healing. So we all need that healing, man, but it starts within. So we just got to look within ourselves. And a lot of times we don't do that. We always looking outside of ourselves for any and everything. And that's like our go-to, to look for something outside of ourselves to solve our situation, to heal us. That's never where the answer is at, man. We got to start that process from within. If you neglect that part of the process, man, you will never heal yourself. You will never heal yourself. You will become dependent on the organization that you join. You will become dependent on whatever it is that you were searching for and you found that's outside of yourself. You become dependent upon that, and you just trade one poison for the next one. So if you join something and then it supplies you with something, now you dependent on that for that. So if it supplied you with peace, now you dependent on this organization for peace. So first and foremost, as black men, man, we need to be able to just look within and deal with ourselves without joining any organization, without talking about women. We need to be able to just sit with ourselves, man, and just figure out, uncover who we truly are and accept and embrace that. Then we can move on. But that knowledge of self in regards to black men is lacking. It's lacking. We don't really get in tune with ourselves like that. And I feel like that's something that we really need to do. Embrace, man. Get in tune with ourselves, period. And the only way you can get in tune with yourself is if you deal with yourself, man, and sit with yourself. Do the knowledge to yourself. Study yourself. Research yourself. Like, that's what we must do. That's what we must do. Like, I'm not playing the blame game. Not playing the blame game. We are responsible for our condition. So we are the ones that must change it. We must change it. I can acknowledge everybody's role in our condition, but I don't necessarily need to do that. I don't need to spend too much time on it. A lot of us know better. A lot of us know what we need to do. We just got to start doing these things, man. We just got to start protecting the mental, protecting the brain, engaging in more research, engaging in more studying, man. We just got to do the knowledge, as I said, man, and put things into motion that we are learning. Yeah, freezing the game. You the weapon. You the weapon, yo. And Marlon was crazy. I used to work one of the banks I worked at. Mike Brown's father used to come in that bank. So it's funny that you mentioned that. That's a whole different topic though. But that was a pretty interesting situation. But dude came into that bank quite frequently. Oh, Denise, I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with that work. And Denise, I would say on top of that, man, Elijah Muhammad dropped a lot of Jews in regards to perspective of white people. Got a lot of Jews from Elijah Muhammad in regards to just white people. John Henry Clark, man, Dr. Ben, man, Francis Cress Wilson. Listen, you already know, y'all know Malcolm Khaled, y'all know they dropped Jews on them. Y'all know the Black Panthers, man, they dropped Jews on them. And then you can even go back to the ancestors back in the day, man, ancient Ethiopians and all of that. Like all of our coaches, man, even the doggone tribe, like all of those tribes in Africa, man, they was dropping Jews on the white folk, on the true nature of the white folk. Marlon, you wait a minute now. Marlon, you saying no one can find themselves alone, and you say that's why we are lost. Nah, whoa, no, Marlon, that's not why. No way is that why black men are lost, because we have a lone wolf mentality. If anything, we lost because we've been following the wrong people, because we always look to follow. Just look at listen, the reason why black people are in the condition that we are in, because most of us are followers. Like we just following the wrong organizations, whether it be a religious organization. Like that's why we are in the condition that we are in for the most part. Most black people are followers. So every other black person you're gonna come across is striving to follow something or striving to look for something outside of themselves. It's gonna be a select few. It's gonna be a select few with the actual lone wolf mentality. People, we followers out here. All you gotta do is just go on social media and see what the average black man is talking about, and see the way that the average black man is moving. He gonna be moving in a way that's following some type of trend. So most black folks are followers. Most people in general are followers. So nah, I'm not gonna say that's why black men are lost at all. And when it comes to finding oneself, nobody can find you but you. So I think you got a misunderstanding in regards to what I'm saying about knowledge of self. Yes, you're going to have things that are going to inspire you, that may encourage you, that may give you that aha light bulb moment. But that at the end of the day, it revolves around you being receptive to it or you accepting it. Nobody can force you to have knowledge of self. Nobody can tell you, look, this is the truth about you. Nobody can do that. It's up to you. So if you don't sit with yourself and realize that, then you're going to be, again, easily led in the wrong direction. And that's part of the problem. One of the reasons why we are easily led in the wrong direction because we don't stand for anything. And one of the reasons why we don't stand for anything is because we don't know who we are. We allow everybody else to tell us who we are. That was one of my problems, Marlon. And now I got a vent on it because I got a personal situation with that. Because I lived most of my life trying to take guidance from black men, and they was giving me the wrong guidance and had me looking like a coward out here. They was having me look like a coward out here because I was trying to take the guidance of black men, and that revolved around me neglecting who I truly was. It wasn't until I said, man, forget what you old black men are talking about because y'all tried to have me taking the coward route. That's when I really started to activate my power. So I wholeheartedly disagree with that, Marlon. I disagree with that 100%. The whole reason why I was in the situation that I was in and made some of the moves I made is because I was taking guidance from black men, trying to listen to my elders and things of that nature. And they gave me some of the softest advice, period. It wasn't until I said, man, I'm done listening to everybody and I'm about to do my own thing the way it needs to be done that I started making the moves that I'm actually making today. The moves that I'm making today, guess what? The black men that were giving me advice would not have approved of it. It wasn't until I shut everybody out, man, and just locked myself in the room, started dealing with myself, started figuring out my strengths and weaknesses that I started making power moves. I can't tell you all the garbage and weak advice that I was getting from black men out here. Again, you always striving to follow somebody. You always striving for somebody to tell you what to do. You can't live your life like that, man. You can't be dependent upon somebody else to tell you what to do because nobody is going to know you better than you. Nobody is going to know you better than you, man. Somebody can think they know what's best for you, but that's their opinion. You know what's best for you. That's what I mean by that. I'm not telling you to reject all outside guidance and help. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a strong foundation in regards to who you are, then you will easily be led in the wrong direction. And that's part of the problem. We not solidified in who we are as people. We not comfortable with ourselves. You got to be comfortable with yourself before you start seeking guidance from other people. If you're not comfortable with yourself, then all that guidance that you get from other people is going to lead you in all different type of directions because you're not going to have anything that you stand for and stand on. And that's how everybody was getting me to walk in different directions as a youth, because I didn't have a strong foundation because I didn't know who I was. Once I said, all right, I'm done with everybody, and I actually figured out who I was, then now I'm able to say, I hear what you're telling me, but I'm not going to rock with that because it doesn't sit well with who I am. Before, I would have been like, you know what? I'm going to try it because I really don't know who I am. I'm not comfortable with myself. So I was allowing what everybody else said to affect me and affect my direction and dictate where I move. Nah, when I shut all of that down and I said, all right, man, who am I? And I asked myself that because you only going to get that correct answer from yourself. If you allow somebody else to define you, you setting yourself up for failure, point blank, period. The definition of who you are should come from you. It shouldn't come from your mother. It shouldn't come from your father. It shouldn't come from your grandparents. It shouldn't come from a sister, brother, a friend, outside at all. The definition of who you are as a person should come from you. If I ask you who you are, you need to give me a definition that you came up with, not what somebody else told you. That's why knowledge of self is important. And that's why we lost, because we didn't allow other people to define us. We keep following everything that sounds good instead of looking right within. That's why we lost, period. That's what history is showing and proving. We looking for the next religion to jump on board with. We looking for the next organization to jump on board with. Man, but who are we though? Who are we though? That's why we lost. That's why we are in the condition that we are in. Point blank, period. That's why we are in the condition. You ask the average black person who they are, they not going to be able to give you a solid answer. What they going to give you, they going to give you the perception that everybody else has given them in regards to how they see them. So they're going to give you a bunch of other definitions that everybody else can use to describe them in order to define who they are. And that is incorrect. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. The first law of nature is called self-preservation. That's the first law of nature. So at some point, you actually got to have this lone wolf mentality. You got to have it, man, because that's, again, you preserving yourself. You preserving yourself. So we looking at a lone wolf mentality as something that's being negative. No, the lone wolf mentality, that's building character and that's building strength. That's basically you saying, if I got to walk alone, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good because I know who I am and I know my strengths and my weaknesses. So if I must walk alone and I must distance myself from the crowd, I'm good either way. But we become too dependent upon the crowd. to the point where if we alone, then we uncomfortable. And that's a problem. So it's nothing really wrong with the lone wolf mentality, just like it's nothing wrong with being like an introvert and things of that nature. The lone wolf mentality is not a positive nor a negative. It's just a mentality that one has, and they can utilize it as a strength. So I don't look at the lone wolf mentality as something that's negative, man. If anything, it's more of a strength because it's giving you the ability to say, man, if I got to walk alone, then I'm good. I'm cool with doing it. But if there's some other people that come along in my journey that I respect, I'm a rock with them. So when you have that lone wolf mentality, man, when you able to basically walk alone and be comfortable, then again, like I said, you setting yourself up for a lot of success because you're not about to be manipulated. You're not about to fall for a lot of nonsense out here. That was one of the periods of my life where I was falling for a lot of things, man. When I didn't have a lone wolf mentality and I was trying to fit in different crowds, all that type of stuff, man. A lone wolf mentality is not something that should be considered a negative. And I think that it's misunderstood when one refers to that lone wolf mentality. I think it's misunderstood. I think it's very misunderstood. Because when you walk around, it's like being a loner and things of that nature. You're not necessarily rejecting people, man, but you're going to thoroughly examine people before you let them in. So when you have that lone wolf mentality, that's all that you're doing. Because you so in tune with yourself, man, you're not about to just go join anything. You about to do the knowledge to it. You're not about to just trust somebody because they saying they your elder. Nah, you about to examine them. Like, what makes you qualified to lead me in any type of direction? Like, I need to know. You need to answer these questions, man. I'm about to do a background check to you. Like, that's what that means, man. So when, like, that's a strength. Just being able to say, man, if I got to walk alone, dog, I'm cool. I'm cool. Like, if I got to do this thing alone, I'm cool, man. If that's how I got to roll, if that's how I got to operate, it is what it is. Not necessarily saying choose to operate like that, but what I'm saying, man, at the end of the day, man, first you got to get in tune with yourself. That's the one. That's the math. That's the math, man. We skipping that one, man. That one is always the foundation. You are at the foundation. You got to be in tune with yourself. And nobody can define you but you. That is what I mean by knowledge of self. And that's why I'm always harping on that particular aspect of our growth and development as a people. It has got to start there. See, we skipping the whole process and we going right to organizations. We already got a bunch of organizations. We already got a bunch of organizations that's filled with people who lack the knowledge of themselves. Hence why things don't work. Hence why these organizations get easily infiltrated, because we got a bunch of people in these organizations who do not know who they are, who don't know how to control their emotions and feelings and things of that nature because they're just not in tune. The ego still gets to tripping, no matter how pure we think the organization is. So if you dealing with any type of organization, man, first you need to just make sure that the organization makes sense to you. You got to make sure the organization is right for you. It may be right for the next person, but this may not be the organization for you. Like, we got to make sure we walk in a way of life that makes sense to us as people, man. It's a bunch of different ways we can maneuver. You got to make sure the journey that you're traveling or the road that you're traveling down makes sense to you. Got to make sure it makes sense to you. But you're not going to know what makes sense to you, man, unless you know you. So I'm real big. Y'all know I'm real big on math, man. I can't skip a step in the math, man. I can't skip a step in the math. I can't do it. We can't skip them steps, man. We cannot do that. We cannot do that, man. When you in tune with yourself, man, it's a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing, man. But when you dependent upon the outside world, man, to be in tune with yourself more than you, that's a scary thing, man. It's like going to the doctor, man. Like, when you leave your health in their hands, that's problematic. That's problematic. I'm to the point now where when something is wrong with me, like, I kind of know, like, I know, and I know how to treat it, man, because I'm in tune. Like, if I get a headache, man, I know what's up, because now I don't normally get headaches, man. But when I left my health in the hands of these doctors, when I say, all right, I'm going to trust these doctors, I'm going to trust these physicians, I'm going to trust y'all with my health. Then, man, I was having a bunch of ailments that I could not explain. I'm like, man, I don't understand what's causing this, because they were never striving to get to the root cause. The moment I said I'm done with doctors, I'm done with all of that. I'm done with asking outside people what's wrong with me. They don't know. They don't know at all. I started to get in tune. I like, man, I put on this deodorant and this causing this problem. No doctor told me that. I go to the doctor talking about lymph nodes. They just trying to give me some pills. I'm like, dang, all you had to do is tell me, man, it's this deodorant. So I just paid attention to myself. I paid attention to what I was doing, what I was putting on my body, what I was putting in my body. That's when I started solving my problems. That's when I started solving every problem. I'm like, all right, man, when I eat this, man, my head tends to hurt. So we're going to eliminate this. Doctors wasn't doing that. Nobody on the outside was doing that. I tell them I got a headache. They'd be like, take this Tylenol, take this aspirin, take this pill. That's what they would do on the outside. And then when you lack that foundation, when you lack that knowledge of yourself, then you fall for it. You say, all right, man, cool. Give me this aspirin. Give me this Tylenol. I guess that's cool. It makes sense. Now you can't give me that because I know who I am. I'm listening to you. I hear you. You say, all right, take this Tylenol, take this pain pill, whatever it is you're telling me to take. I hear you, but I'm not going to take it. Not going to take it. Like even if you get diagnosed with something, oh man, take this chemo, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. So I listen, that is when my health started to elevate. When I took control of my health, that's when my health started to elevate. That's when things became that much better for me, when I took my health in my own hands. When I took my health in my own hands, man, when I was out here trusting any and everybody with my health, man, I was out here with high blood pressure and all of that type of stuff at like 18. When at the end of the day, and that's why I say, man, we overlook it. We always looking for somebody to tell us what to do, when your whole body and your mind is always constantly telling you what to do. The whole while we waiting for doctors to say, all right, man, you need to stop doing this, that, and the third. Man, your body letting you know what's good for you and what's not good for you every time that you consume something. Your body is letting you know what's up every time you fail to get the proper amount of sleep. Like your body is literally letting you know this. You having dreams. The dreams are relaying messages to you. You just ignoring them. So you listen, your mind is literally giving you messages, giving you signs, giving you symbols, but you looking right over them, and you need somebody else to tell you something for you to do it. Your body is telling your body like, hey, you eating this type of way, man, my blood pressure high. That's a warning. That's a warning that you are giving yourself. You just not looking at it. You just overlooking it. It's no big deal. I'm gonna pop this pill, man. Your body is talking to you. Our bodies talk to us all the time. Our bodies talk to us all the time, and our mind talks to us all the time. We overlook it, though. We overlook it. At the end of the day, all you have is that perception, man. That perception is a powerful thing. And they tell you, universe is mental. All is mental. Like, these are phrases, man, that we've been living by for a very long time. For a very long time. So you need to know the question. I mean, you need to know the answer to something, man. Ask yourself. Ask yourself the question. I guarantee you, your mind will conjure up an answer for you. How do I know? I've been there, done that. You can literally, like I done told y'all in previous videos, man, this is just how fascinating the body is. This is why I say, you listen, you can literally hold something up to your chest, hold something up to your heart, a food product, man, and just get in a relaxed state, hold it up to your heart, and your body gonna either sway forward or backwards. If it sways forward, then that means that product is good for you. If you sway backwards, guess what? That means that the product is harmful. You can literally ask yourself a question in the same state. If you got something that you debating on purchasing or something like that, you can literally ask yourself in that same state whether or not you should purchase it. Your body gonna either sway forward or backwards. Man, I'm telling you, the body is all wise and intelligent, man. It's gonna give you the answer, man. It's gonna give you the answer. It's gonna give you the answer. And done it plenty of times, man. I done literally sat there with things that harmful for me, getting that relaxed state, hold it up to the chest, almost fall on my back. Body like, nah, you don't need that. Things that I thought was cool for me, man, they got an ounce of something that's bad in it. Guess what? Body is swaying backwards, about to fall on my back again. Body is intelligent. Body is intelligent. We got to stop sleeping on that innate intelligence that exists right within us. Got to stop sleeping on it. We got to stop sleeping on it. But man, y'all know I messed around and got the vent, man. But that's something that's near and dear to me, man. Just taking guidance, man. Like I honestly feel like that was my downfall in life, man. Guidance, listening to everybody but myself. Like literally, that messed up the first half of my life right now, up to this point. Like I literally just started making the moves that I know I should have been made, man. But I was making moves based off of what everybody else was telling me to do. And it never said well with me, man, because everybody was telling me to make the moves that they felt. Basically, what be happening is, especially when you talk to elders, man, a lot of these elders gonna tell you to do things that they wish they would have done. That don't necessarily mean that that's something that's gonna work for me though. Like, I didn't graduate college, so therefore you need to go get your education. Because had I got it, I would have ended up here. You don't know where you would have ended up, for one. Secondly, college may not be for me. It may not be the best route for me. But since you feel like if you would have did it, it would have helped you out. Now you pushing me to do it. Again, there's no harm in that. But you got to stop thinking that just because you didn't do something you felt like it would have been best for you to do doesn't mean it's going to be best for your son, your nephew, your niece, whoever. So we got to stop doing that. At the end of the day, when it comes to giving guidance to the youth, you got to sit down and you got to ask the youth questions. Stop trying to dictate which way the youth moves. That's the problem. That's the disconnect. That's why the youth and the elder, that's why we get into it. Because the elder always, they go back and say what things need, like they always try to go back to the old ways. Listen, it's a new day and time. It's a new day and time, and you got to chop it up with the youth. You can't try to force your ways and your perspectives on the youth. They live a different way of life. They don't want to hear you talk about what you think they should do. Like this is your era. They don't want to hear that. You got to get to know these people, man. You got to get to know these people. Get these people to talk about themselves, period. Like that's what we got to do. But most of my life was spent by older people trying to tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do, instead of them asking me who I am and trying to figure out who I am. That's why it took me so long to actually figure out who I was, man, because everybody just trying to tell you how you need to live your life. Everybody good for that. Everybody is good for that, man. We need to start talking to the children, man, instead of telling them what to do, telling them how to move. No, man, they not dumb, man. Just ask them questions, man. Ask them what are you interested in? What do you like doing? What do you dislike doing? Like, how do you feel about this? How do you think you should do this? How do you think you should handle that? Instead of saying, no, you need to do this. You need to move like that. You need to take this left. You need to, no. We got to stop doing that, man. Again, that's why that disconnect is so strong. That's why it's always strong. That's why that's why the youth and the elderly always clash. Because for one, the elder, they get stuck in them ways. You're stuck in them ways. When you talking to the youth, you got to understand that you're talking to a new generation. You got to understand that you're talking to a totally different group of people. You're not talking to people that grew up when you grew up, that did things how you did things. Different. Talking to a whole totally different era. So I'm gonna do you one better like my peoples, like my parents, like obviously their era. That's why they pushed education, get the degree, because it was scarce back in their days. So when you got a degree, a college degree back in their days, it meant something. Well, fast forward to my time, that doesn't mean anything. It's like the dollar bill is worthless. It's so many college degrees in circulation that they don't have any value. So back in your day, it had some value. If you got a college degree back in your day, it meant something. But in my day, it don't really mean much. So it's like you can't be stuck in that way. You cannot be pushing that way of life like it's 40 years ago, 30 years ago. It's not. And a lot of times that is what's happening. Like you cannot be talking to the youth and be thinking that it's still the time where you grew up. No, you got to speak in their terms. You got to speak their language, or else they not going to really care about what you're saying. They're not going to care about what you're saying at all, man. Like they can't relate to something that happened 30, 40 years ago. That wasn't their time. All they know is what's happening now and how it's happening now. So we got a strong disconnect, and for the most part, that disconnect is strong simply because, man, we can't be stuck in our ways when dealing with the youth. When I'm talking to the youth, I'm understanding that I'm talking to somebody that's about 10, 15 years younger than me, and it's gonna be a totally different way that they view the world. Totally different way. Totally different way, man. So I gotta deal with them in a different light, opposed to if I'm talking to somebody that's right around my same age. And one thing I'm not gonna do is try to force them to just see the world how I'm seeing it. If anything, man, I'm gonna just chop it up with them, ask them a few questions, get them to open up, man, get them to think about themselves in a way that they probably never thought about. Because most of our life, you got to understand what life consists of. Most of your life is spent with people telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Just think about it. Just think about your life. I guarantee you most of your life is spent by people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, what you can and cannot do. Most of your life. At this point, it's just who you choose to listen to. So most of your life is spent by people telling you what you should and should not do. That's most of your life. That's most of your life. So I didn't been there, done that, man. I didn't walk into some bad situations because I'm listening to everybody else, man. I'm trying to please everybody else. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this because such and such said, and I respect their opinion. Whole while in my gut, second brain, and it ain't even in my gut. Just initially, I'm just like, man, I shouldn't even do this. But it's like it came from a person that I respect and trust. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna give this a shot. I end up wasting that energy because it turns out to go according to the way that I envisioned it. Every time, it never fails, man. Never fails. Never fails, man. I have had plenty of situations in my life where I have literally told people, I'm like, man, I don't think I should do this because if I do this, this gonna happen. But I'm like, man, since I respect your opinion on the matter, I'm gonna do it. Then I do it, and guess what happens? It unfolds the exact way that I envisioned. To the point where it'll come back years later and people be like, man, this is exactly what you said was gonna happen. I'm like, dude, I know. So I have met, like, listen, I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, keep it transparent. I have spent a lot of my time living for other people, trying to please other people, taking guidance from other people, letting other people lead me because I'm just trusting them. And I'm telling you right now, that was a mistake. I would be in a much different space a much different place in my life had I just listened to myself. Like the things that I was telling myself to do, had I just listened to all of that, man, I'd be in a much different space right now. Much different space. Much different space. And this ain't no knock to the people that was, trying to guide me. Of course, obviously they was trying to tell me what they thought was best. Like, no knock to them. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, I knew what was best for me. I just chose not to do these things because I bought into the whole, you're young and you don't know what you're talking about. Woo, woo, woo. Man, had I would have acted on what I knew and what I told myself, I'd be in a much different space right now. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee I'll be in a much different space. Much different space. People be lying, talking about they don't have regrets. I got plenty of regrets. Plenty of regrets. I ain't one of them ones, man. I'm gonna keep it real. I got plenty of things I regret in life. So I ain't about to sit up here and sugarcoat it like, man, I ain't got no regrets. Nah, I got things I regret. I got things I wish I would have did it this way instead of that way because I knew better and I didn't do better. So ain't nothing wrong with having regrets, man. I'm not gonna dwell on the regrets, but I have them. I have things that I did that I wish I would not have done. I can't change it, but I'd be lying if I say I wish I didn't move that way. I wish I didn't do that. I got plenty of regrets, man. And a lot of people like to lie. Like I said, I ain't got no regrets. I got plenty. I'm not one of them ones. I'm telling you straight up, flat out, got regrets. Made some moves that were not in my best interest. And I knew they wouldn't. It's a difference. I didn't make moves that were not in my best interest and didn't know better. A lot of the moves that I'm referring to, I made that, and they were not in my best interest, and I knew that. I knew better. So those come with regrets, because I was like, man, I told myself not to do that. Told myself if I did that or did this, this is what would happen. Told myself. So no, I got plenty of situations like that. Plenty of situations like that. Yeah, freezing, man, freezing the game, no doubt. You say you used to feel weird, never ask nobody questions. Then the crazy thing about never asking nobody questions, man, I was inquisitive, so I asked a lot of questions. But the crazy thing about it was, I asked questions, I guess, apparently about the wrong thing. So I got shunned a lot for asking these questions. So that's what led to me. People don't understand, man. A lot of the way that you are today got a lot to do with your childhood. So I used to ask a lot of questions and get shunned. So I said, okay, man, if y'all don't want to answer my questions, then I'm just going to stop asking the questions. Then that led to me becoming more reserved. That led to that loner mentality, man. I just stopped asking questions. I'm like, man, every time I ask the questions, man, you get one or two responses. You get one or two responses. When you start asking difficult questions, people going to shun you. They're going to get mad at you until you don't ask them type of questions, or they're going to tell you to look it up or figure it out. So I took the figure it out route. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I took the figure it out route. Y'all wasn't answering my questions. I had questions. Y'all wasn't answering my questions. So I figured it out. That's what you want me to do. Then you get mad when I figure it out. You get mad when I research it. Well, you should have answered my question. So that's something that's funny too, man. When you a youth and you asking these adults questions, and they don't want to answer your questions, then they tell you to figure things out, or they leave it up to you to figure it out. Then once you research it, now they ready to fight now. Now they ready to call you a devil, a demon. Now they ready to call you crazy because you said y'all wouldn't answer my question, so I did the research on my own then. RBG all day, every day, man. Listen, I'm tell you straight up, man. I like my 20s. I ain't even lie, wasted them, man, because I could have. It was things I should have did that I didn't do. I just didn't do them because I was trying to listen to everybody else. Didn't do them. I knew from the jump that I wasn't a corporate dude. Like I knew for a jump that corporate America wasn't for me. I was telling people that when I was a youngin'. Like I was telling people this. I was telling people, man, I wanted to own my own business. I want to do my own thing for as long as I can remember. So this wasn't anything new. This was always in my blood. But what I started doing once I graduated college, I'm listening to everybody. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. Woo, woo. So what I do, I try to get these jobs. What was happening when I was trying to get these jobs? Exactly what I knew was going to happen. Man, I'm already knowing they looking up your Facebook. They finding you on the internet. They discriminating against you. They're going to tell you that you overqualified or that you lack experience. You got the education, you got the degrees, but you don't have the experience. So I knew I was going to walk through all that. And that leads to depression. Then that leads to you taking these jobs that ain't paying you nowhere near what you worth. So I was going through all of that, and I knew that wasn't for me. Then that led to me walking around wearing a suit and tie, smiling and joking and all that with these white folks, man, when stuff ain't really even funny. Like, nah, and I can't kiss up to them. So then everybody around you getting promoted and all that because they willing to kiss up to these white folks and you not. So now you got to suffer because of that. Like, I just knew that wasn't my type of field, man. So what I do, I found myself in that field. I found myself in that field listening to everybody else, man. Had I did things my way, I never would have been working for anybody. I never would have been working for these white folks. I always would have been doing my own thing. And that's just a fact. If I would have just listened to myself, I would have came out the gate doing my own thing. I would have been like these little kids now being entrepreneurs at like 7. Like that would have been me. That would have been me. But the American dream was sold to me and I was buying it. Like, man, get this education, get this decent job, do this, that, and third. Man, that never was for me, man. I'm not cut like that. Some people, corporate America works for them. I wasn't cut like that. You don't see too many people in corporate America that look like me. So I never should have been listening to that. I never should have been putting on these suit and ties, going into these interviews, lying to these white folks like that. I never should have been doing that. Never should have been doing that, man. I never should have. That was a waste of time and energy. And I spent most of my 20s being disappointed because I wasn't able to land a job that made sense, man, that was paying me what I was worth. Wasn't able to land a job through my whole 20s. I'm searching, qualified. I ain't got nothing against me. Like, listen, I ain't got nothing on my record. I got the education. I got 2 degrees. Man, I got the GPA. I was on the dean's list at a Catholic college. Played sports. Like, I'm the picture perfect model citizen. Went to a private high school. Like, man, what you can't even get no. Come on. And I'm still out here getting doors slammed in my face, man. Doors shut in my face. So it's like, man, that was depressing, man. I ain't had time for that. I ain't had time for that. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to play this game the right way, and you see what's happening. And then they get mad at brothers for slinging drugs out here. Man, I'm a whole law-abiding citizen. I don't break no rules. I don't break no laws. I just went to school, got my lesson, got my education, and y'all still wasn't giving me the pay that I was worth. So listen. I'm sad to say I don't fault some of these brothers for doing what they doing, because I tried to make that honest living, man. I tried to do it the honest way. Had I not had something that I was passionate about, ain't no telling what I would have did. Luckily, I'm into fitness, and luckily that's something that I'm passionate about, and it's a service that I can provide. But most people ain't fortunate enough to have something that they passionate about. They got to really figure it out. I've been passionate about fitness and sports and things like that since I was a youngin'. So luckily I had that. Man. A lot of these brothers, again, it comes with being just lost and not knowing who you are. I knew who I was. I knew the type of dude that I was, but I was always a dude that was into fitness. So if I was going to do anything, it was going to be fitness related. Well, when you didn't let everybody else kind of dictate your life, man, that stuff gets lost. So you don't really know what you're passionate about. You don't really know what your purpose is, man. So you may resort to selling some drugs, man, selling some dope, man, because you didn't try to get these. I remember Nip talked about that, man. Nipsey Hussle talked about that. Man, he was trying to do the same thing, trying to make that honest living. He wasn't getting no type of job offers. So he was just like, man, I gotta eat. And that's what we, as men, we gonna find a way to make some money. We gonna find a way to make some money, whether it's legal or illegal. You ain't finna keep slamming doors on a grown man's face and he just starved for the most part. We gonna find a way to eat. We gonna find a way to eat, man. Like, you're not about to keep doing us like that. We gonna find ways to eat. That's just what we gonna do. We gonna get it, as Malcolm said, by any means necessary. So I literally try to do it the honest way, man. That's why my perspective toward like corporate America and just college and stuff like that is the way that it is. Because I literally did things the honest way. I'm talking about, man, I'm getting my academic advisor to write my resume. Like, I'm all of this, man. I did all of it. I did everything you were supposed to do. Whole while getting these disrespectful offers, man. People, you're not qualified, or they choosing internal candidates, man. I really realized at that point, they don't care anything about what you know. That's when I really realized it's about who you know. It's about being connected and networking and things like that. And I'm like, man, that just ain't my cup of tea, man. So I got to do my own thing. I don't care to go out here and go to job fairs, man, and smile in these folk faces and shake their hands like I care to be friends with them, because I don't. I'm like, man, this just ain't my speed. It ain't my speed. Now I'm doing something that makes sense, and I'm thriving. I could have been doing this years ago. I'm thriving. Man. I'm literally doing my own thing. Literally, listen, I'm doing my own thing. I don't have anybody working for me. I don't have any other trainers training my clients. Like, I'm doing all of this. I'm doing all of this, and I'm thriving. But whole while I couldn't get a decent job out here, man. Like, literally, I just started my own thing, and I'm thriving with no form of help as far as people working for me and things like that. But I couldn't get a respectable job in corporate America. Just think about that for a minute. But I can go set up and operate my own successful business, but I couldn't do some like administrative work for this college. Like, come on, man. That was disrespectful, man. But when you get caught up in that corporate game, man, that stuff can lead to depression, man. That stuff can have you questioning yourself. Like, man, what's wrong with me, man? Why can't I get a job? Like, you start blaming yourself for that, when really at the end of the day, it's discrimination that they'll never admit. Like, you ain't getting a job, man, because they discriminate, man. They don't want to hire you. They got enough black folks in there, man. They don't want another one. I even got discriminated. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. Listen, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I got discriminated. I know for a fact. Hope they why I got discriminated by some feminists. I'll never forget it. I went to a job interview at a college, yo. This black chick, she straight asked me. She said, how will it feel, or how does it feel, or how would you feel by in regards to taking orders from women? or from a woman? She literally, this was an interview question. How would I feel about taking orders from a woman? That's what she asked me in the interview. I was right then and there. I said, I'm not getting this job. She literally asked me that in the interview. She literally asked me that in the interview. That was the interview question. How would I feel about taking orders from a woman? That is not, listen, I have not conducted an interview, but that is not a proper interview question. I'm sorry. That is not something you ask in the interview. Yet this chick asked me that question. That's what she asked me. She asked me, how would I, like, I don't have a whole mother. Like, I ain't got a whole sister, man. Like, what? Like, come on, man. She asked me that in the whole interview, though. Once she asked me that, I said, it's over. I ain't getting this job. This ain't gonna work. Like, when you ask, like, you power tripping at that point. You power tripping, because what is that even? That don't even make any sense. Like, how do I feel taking orders? You already let me know out the gate that you about to be just giving me orders. It was a control factor, man. Her whole purpose for asking that question threw me off. Because I never asked anybody that. How would you feel taking orders from a man if I'm interviewing a young lady? Like, I'm not about to ask that, man. That's like my ego. That's me power tripping. Like, that was her throwing her authority, her power in my face. Like, how would you feel taking orders from me? Taking orders? Like, what? Like, what are you talking? Like, what were you talking about? But that happened, though. That legit happened. That's when that happened. That was one of the things I said, man, I'm done with this, man. I can't deal with this, man. I can't deal with corporate America. If this what I'm finna have to be dealing with, no good. No good. Hey, freezing the game, man. We get better every day. We get better every day. I'll tell you that. And that's that. When somebody tell you to look it up, they don't know the answer to the question. That's why I tell you to look it up. Then you look it up, they get mad. Freezing the game, man. I'm telling you, 2 degrees that you're not using. I'm semi-using mine simply because of just having to operate a business. I got to do marketing, and I guess it's management. But it's like I didn't need these degrees to do what I'm doing. Hey, freeze, man. Listen, I'm just telling y'all half of it. People don't be understanding, man. People, man, listen. Because this is one of the situations I be dealing with, man. A lot of people, man, I was raised by both parents. Woo, woo, woo. People just think you raised by both parents, you ain't never went through anything. Nah, man, I've been through some things, man. Been through some things. I done dealt with some weird stuff. I have dealt with some weird things in my life. Freezing the game. I'm telling you, man, I hit 30. I'm just fine in my groove. I'm telling you, 20s was just a whole learning experience. Whole learning experience, man. Whole learning, trial and error. My entire 20, trial and error. Trial error. Shouldn't have did that. Should not have done that. Shouldn't have did that. Should not have done that. Why did you do that? That was all 20s. Beast by Bless on them. I'm telling you. I wouldn't trade what I'm doing for the world right now, man. The best decision I ever made. And y'all don't know it, man. But I took risks, man. I took some L's, man. I had to take some L's. But I was reading them in all the books, all the entrepreneur books that I have, all the business books that I have. They all talked about the same thing. Like, there will never be a right time to jump into business for yourself. Never. There will never be a right time. And everybody that jumped into business for themselves, man, they was knee-high in debt, man. They was in some terrible situations, but, man, they had to do what they had to do. So the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. There ain't no such thing as playing it safe when it comes to jumping into business for yourself. And that was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, because at the end of the day, it's on you. And I don't want to see myself struggle. I don't want to be out here starving, man. So it's on me. So how hungry are you? And that's one thing I like about what it is I'm doing, man. And I done built a decent business. It's only growing. It's only getting stronger. I wouldn't trade this for the world, man. Like for my mental peace, like I still be working a lot of hours, man, but it's still cool. It's cool because I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. I control it. It's mine. I'm building relationships, man. I'm just doing everything that I want to do. Like, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, no matter the risk that I had to take in regards to making that jump. Really don't care about it. I really don't care about it, man. This system don't care about a lot that it does to us. So I really didn't care about taking some of the L's that I had to take to make my move and make my jump. I ain't care. This system shouldn't be set up the way that it is, man. But it is though. So I'm gonna play by my rules, man. I'm gonna play by my rules. I'm done playing by everybody else's rules. I'm like, man, I'm done playing by the corporate rules. I'm done playing by those rules. Like I'm about to do this my way. And now I'm doing it my way, and it's all good now. You cannot stop me because I'm doing it my way. So I suggest y'all do it y'all's way, man. Nobody gonna stop you. Oh yeah, y'all responded to that question, man. She straight asked me that. It was a black chick in there with, I don't know what ethnicity this other lady was, man, but they were in there, man, and she literally asked me that question. That was a very awkward interview. That's almost like a white dude, like, man, how do you feel about taking orders from a white guy? Like, that's what I went through though. That is literally what I went through, man. That is what I went through. I said, man, this ain't going good. I think for the most part, they only had me. I only got approved for the interview because they was trying to fulfill some type of quota, man. They had to interview X amount of dudes or something. Because that was crazy, man. That was just a crazy situation, man. Like, why did you ask me that? Freezing the game, man. Yeah, my degrees at my people's crib. I don't even want to see them degrees. Hey yo, 1212 peace. What's going on, Queen? Denise, that's exactly what she did. Exactly what she probably doing. The same exact power structure. Like y'all gotta understand when somebody asks you in the interview, and that was like one of the first questions she asked. So y'all gotta understand that from that point on, man, when they break the ice with like an awkward question like that, the interview just you done. You might as well just walk out, man. It ain't that you're not gonna have a good interview when somebody come out the gate and say, "How do you feel taking orders from a woman?" Out the gate, like the interview is now over with. Like that might as well just end the interview. Cause it's like, what can you say after that? Like that just killed my whole vibe. That destroyed my whole vibe. Freezing the game. That's a very valid point. Very valid point. Cause and what a lot of times what parents don't understand, they be wanting to show off. They be wanting to show off. A lot of this stuff be selfish on the parents' end. They want these children to do things that they want them to do just so they can show them off. A lot of parents don't be realizing the selfishness in regards to some of the things that they try to recommend or suggest that their kids do, or the direction that they try to point them in, just so they can show them off. Yes, my child graduated from Yale. My child graduated with 5 degrees. Like they be doing that just so they can show off. It's a status thing. Magic rims. Listen, I can tell you right now, one of my degrees is management, right? Business management. I can tell you right now out the gate, if I would have landed a job in managing people fresh, I would have been trash, man. Like I didn't learn how to manage people. Like I didn't learn how to do that. I didn't learn how to do that, man. That degree, I didn't learn how to do any type of managing. Like the only time I was gonna learn to manage is if I actually had a job managing people. Hey yo, 1212, and that's where I was at. I'm telling y'all, man. Again, we transparent tonight because I got time. I got time, man. But that, like the degrees and the debt, the student loan debt, like man, that is stressful. That is stressful, especially when you're trying to get jobs in your field and it's not working out, man. That is just so stressful. That I'm telling you, that leads to depression, man. Because like I said, you start thinking something is wrong with you, man. You start thinking something is wrong with you. You like, man, I just did everything that y'all said do, and it's not working. But whole while I got $100,000 in student loan debt, $50,000 in student loan debt. Like, man, what am I supposed to do? Then you end up, that's how you end up, that's the cycle. That's how you end up on that job that you hate. That's how you end up on that job that you hate that's underpaying you, but overworking you. Because you trying to pay the student loan debt. Oh, Denise, I just saw that after I talked about them wanting to brag. So that's crazy. Magic rims. I'm telling you, that's one of my regrets in life, man. I would definitely not have went. Or I would have went to like a community. Like I would have went something to where I didn't have to pay. Like I wouldn't have been in debt. Like that's the only way I would have went. If I could have got some type of paper or something without having to pay, possibly so. Other than that, I would have got like certifications, or I just would have learned the skill or a trade. And I still would have been training. Like, but on top of that, I probably would just learn how to do something. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just rock with that. Now, Magic Rims, man, trust me, I was in art class and did not learn how to. I don't even learn how to draw a circle in that joint. Man, RBG all day, every day. You say when I heard that college is very expensive, I may well open up a business. When I started, what really was grinding my gears was like when they would have like athletes or they would have certain people telling you to go get an education that never even graduated college. That used to frustrate me. They had the people that dropped out of college and started their own business that got all the people with college degrees working for them, telling you to get your education just so they can employ you basically. Just so they can employ you basically. So just think about that trick. They having the people that realized school was garbage, dropped out, started a successful business, employed all the educated people, telling you to go get your education. Why? So they can employ you too. So you won't be the one that's owning them or running a competitive business in competition with them. So they want you to get the education so they can employ you. Whole while they realized that education was garbage, that it was trash, that it was unnecessary, that we can just drop out and we can do this. We can build this. We can build these computers. We can build this Microsoft. We can build this Apple. We can do this. We don't need college for this, but we're going to employ the people that get the college education because they showing and proving that they can be trained. So those are the type of people that we going to seek. But those are the main ones telling you to get an education. The ones that didn't even, like they used to have like LeBron James and them, go get your education. Bro, LeBron, you didn't graduate college, bro. And you one of the most successful people on the planet. Your skill, your passion, all that got you to where you at. Wasn't no college education. So they used to kill me with that one. They used to kill me with that one. The people that dropped out of college and are very successful telling you to go to college. Couldn't stand that. Oh, Denise, this is a big mental experiment. It's a big mental experiment, man. It's just miseducation, false information being told. It's just trash. Trash, man. Especially for the black child, man. It's trash. It is trash. Like most of the stuff they teach in the school system is just trash. Fallacious information. And Magic Rims, that's 100% fact. Same exact issues. Same issues. Same exact issues. Man, I'm telling you, that was just a waste of 4 years. I'm just not even gonna lie to y'all. It was a waste of 4. I slept in class most of the time. Like it was just right. It was just a waste of time, man. It's just a big waste of time. Big waste of time, man. Like I happened to just play football a few years in college, so that was that. which is the reason why I pretty much went. But like other than that, man, it was a waste of time. I'm falling asleep. I'm just like I knew how to master the test, man. So it wasn't nothing. All you had to do was memorize. So I was good at memorizing things. So I just memorized what I needed to memorize, passed the test, fell asleep in class, repeat. Like, man, it's just a waste of time, man. Waste of time. You graduate with these degrees and really still don't know anything pertaining to your field. So, like, man, that was just a waste of time. But man, with that being said, y'all, man, I did my vent for the night. I did my vent for the night, man. I'm about to tap on out, man. This was pretty decent streamer, man. I just appreciate all y'all tuning in, man. You know, this late night vibe. I like the late night vibe though, man. It'd be cooler vibes late at night. I'm a night owl, man. I can stay up all night. But I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. But I'm gonna tune out for the night, man. I got back from the gym, training, folks, and I said, let me jump on here, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and wind down for the night, man. I appreciate all y'all tapping in, tuning in to your boy. I may possibly stream tomorrow during the day, though. It ain't gonna be no late night joint. So hopefully y'all on around that time, man. Y'all be easy out here though, man. Peace.